Let me tell you something about Polaris that most people don't realize. We only take 300 students per year, 100 seats in applied AI engineering, 100 seats in product management and engineering, 100 seats in cloud and big data engineering, 300 students maximum. And this isn't because we don't have the infrastructure. This isn't some temporary thing until we expand. We could take more students, we choose not to. I'm Rohan from Polaris School of Technology, and in the next 6 minutes, I'm going to explain why Polaris has this 300 student cap, what it means philosophically, and why it actually matters for your education. This really comes down to a fundamental choice between quality and scale. Let's get into it. So first question, why 300? Every other engineering institution in India is going the opposite direction. More seats, more campuses, more students. IITs have thousands of students per batch. NITs have thousands. Private colleges have even more. The trend is clear, scale up, grow, maximize capacity. Polaris is doing the exact opposite. Here's the philosophy. We believe that education at scale fundamentally changes what education can be. When you have 10,000 students, you can't give individual attention. You can't mentor personally. You can't build real relationships between faculty and students. You become a factory. Input students. Run them through a standardized process. Output graduates. That works if your goal is to produce as many engineers as possible. That's not our goal. Our goal is different. We want every single student who walks through Polaris to have a transformative educational experience. We want faculty who actually know your name, who know what you're working on, who can give you personalized feedback on your projects. We want small classes where you can ask questions and have real discussions. We want an environment where you matter as an individual, not just as enrollment number 4,729. That's only possible at a certain scale. And we've determined that scale is 300 students per batch, 100 in each specialization, not because 100 is a magic number, but because even within each program, AI, product, or cloud, we want to maintain that same level of intimacy and individual attention. If applied AI engineering had 500 students, it would become a factory. Same with product, same with cloud. At 100 students per program, you still have a real community. Faculty still know everyone. Students collaborate across projects. Beyond that, it breaks. Let me be very direct about this. There's a trade-off between quality and scale. You can have 10,000 students and give each one a decent education. Or you can have 300 students and give each one an exceptional education. You can't do both. Here's what becomes possible at 300 students. Small class sizes, 20 to 25 students per section. In a class of 20, your professor knows who you are. They understand how you think. They know what you're struggling with. In a class of 200, you're anonymous. Real mentorship, every student at Polaris has access to faculty mentorship, not just in theory, but in practice. With 300 students and 25 plus faculty members, that's roughly a 1:12 ratio. At 3,000 students, faculty are too busy just delivering lectures and grading exams. Personalized attention, your projects get real feedback, not a generic comment from a TA who doesn't know you. Your code reviews are detailed, your design critiques are thoughtful, your questions actually get answered. And then there's community. At 300 students, you know your batchmates, you collaborate, you build things together. At 3,000 students, most people are strangers. You might never even meet people in your own batch. Now look, we could expand. We could take 1,000 students, open more campuses, increase revenue. But the moment we do that, we become exactly what we're trying not to be, a mass education factory. Everything would need to be standardized. Larger classes, less attention, more bureaucracy, less flexibility. The Polaris model just doesn't work at that scale. So we're staying small by design. Let me give you some concrete examples of what actually changes when you scale. First, projects. At Polaris, when you build something, your professor reviews it personally. You get real feedback. You improve. At a mass institution, a TA checks it using a rubric. You get a grade. That's it. That's not mentorship. That's processing. Second, industry immersion. In year 4, Polaris places 300 students into meaningful roles across companies, startups, and research labs. If we had 3,000 students, that becomes impossible. You'd have to compromise on quality. Third, faculty access. At Polaris, you can walk up to a professor and ask a question. At large institutions, professors have hundreds of students. You email them and hope for a reply. Fourth, something simple but powerful. Knowing your name. At Polaris, faculty know who you are, what you're working on, your strengths and weaknesses. At a mass institution, you're a roll number, and that changes everything. The bottom line is, this quality education depends on human relationships, real mentorship, personal attention, and those things don't scale. So we've chosen not to scale. Now, what does this mean for you? First, it's harder to get in. 300 seats means Polaris is highly selective. Thousands apply. Only 300 get in. PAT matters. The interview matters. Every part of the process matters because every seat matters. We're not trying to fill thousands of seats. We're trying to find the right 300 students. Second, being here is different. If you get in, you're one of 300, not one of 10,000. That means you matter. Your projects get attention. Faculty mentor you. You're not lost in the crowd. Your voice is heard. Third, the experience is personal. This isn't a place where you disappear into lecture halls. This is a place where you're known, challenged, and supported. Small by design means personal by default. And finally, you're joining a community, not a crowd. With 300 students, you actually know your batchmates. You collaborate. You build together. And that matters more than most people realize. Let me close with this. Every other institution is scaling up, adding seats, expanding campuses. We're doing the opposite. We're staying at 300 students permanently. This is a philosophical choice. We believe quality and scale are fundamentally in tension, and we've chosen quality. So if you're looking for a place where you'll just get a standard engineering degree and blend into the crowd, Polaris isn't that place. But if you're looking for a place where you'll be challenged, mentored, and treated as someone who actually matters, this might be exactly what you're looking for. 300 students, 3 specializations, 4 years of real education, not a mass school. If this is the kind of education you want, apply. Take PAT seriously, prepare for the interview, show us why you should be one of the 300. And if you get in, you'll understand why we've capped it at 300. Because the experience we're building only works at this scale. I'm Rohan from Polaris School of Technology. We're small, we're selective, and we're staying that way.